Now, it's a little different situation when you see Reservoir Dogs, especially after you've seen it once or twice and you've got a good handle on it. But when people were seeing it for the very first time, I mean, it really cut their heads off. They had no idea what to expect. And I just couldn't believe that everyone found the movie so violent. All right, just such rough viewing experience. So when you see it a second time, then the humor plays more overtly. People laughed through the entire movie when they saw it the first time, but when it's over, they don't quite remember laughing. All right, second time, it's like it seems much less violent and much more funny. All right, and I realized what that was at a certain point. And it was, because I was like, in the script, I was like, hey guys, I'm appreciating you thinking it's the most violent movie ever made. That you're just giving me kudos as a filmmaker. You're saying, hey guy, great filmmaking, because it's like a fucking talk fest. All right, I was afraid it was going to be boring. It wasn't because people were seeing violence on screen or even violent stuff was happening constantly. It was the fact that the threat of violence is there every second as the movie's going on. It's like the threat of violence is another character in the room. It's a sword of Damocles, not only hanging over all the characters' head, it's hanging over the audience's head, and you're waiting for it to drop at any moment, and it could happen at any moment. At any moment, there could be blood all over the walls. And the best analogy I was able to put to it much later was, I'm also a big fan of melodramas, and I remember watching the movie Backstreet. Big melodrama where you know it's just going to end awful for her and very sad and dramatic. And melodrama, just like violence from Reservoir Dogs, was always another character in the room. Anytime a light scene happened, you could only think it was so light. You only laughed so much because like the thread of melodrama was so hanging over this woman's head. All right, that any little reprose in it was just, it's just going to get worse really quickly. And so violence kind of had the same relationship. Even when things got light and funny, it could just turn like that at any moment. But it's like I really think that also part of really what I have to offer in cinema, because I like things that can switch tones, is being able to turn on a dime. I mean, I love playing with an audience and conducting an audience's response, because it's like I love getting people to laugh at things that they would never laugh at. All right, and can't even imagine they would laugh. You laugh, and then I stop you laughing. All right, and then I get you right where you fucking breathe. All right, and then I can make you laugh again, right while you're still in that other thing. I get you laughing again.
The first time we showed this movie to an audience was in Westwood, sort of a college town. UCLA is there, and it was the first preview of the movie. We're showing the movie, and everybody's going along, and they're having a good time. It's the first half of the movie. It's fun. It's great. Everybody's dancing. Oh, disco music. We love it. Look at the funny clothes and the hair, And this scene comes up, and Macy goes to get the gun. And when he got the gun, and you have to keep in mind that recruited audiences are just sort of maniacs in general, is because they're all pumped up with a false description of the movie. Anyway, they're there. Macy gets the gun, and this crowd of college kids cheers when he gets the gun. Now, I sank in my seat, I sank in my seat, and I thought, well, what have I done? I have really, really fucked up. I've done something wrong in storytelling. I've guided this towards being a funny moment somehow, but and it's not what I intended. How did I do this? And I really started to panic. And actually, my friend Amy Mann, who's just brilliant and one of my sort of idols, was sitting next to me, and we've had major conversations about violence in movies and this sort of things. And she was sitting there, and she just sort of grabbed my hand and she said, "It's not your fault," but it didn't matter. I sank in my seat. Now then he shoots them, and they cheered even louder, and I sank even further in my seat, and I thought, well, I have fucked up big time. I have ruined this. How did this happen? And and I can't possibly fix it. This is one big long shot. Well then, Macy walks out, and he shot himself in the face, and they shut the fuck up real quick. And they weren't laughing, and they weren't cheering, and it was dead silence, and I thought, good, okay, I've done my job okay. It's them that's fucked up. It's really the moment where you blame the audience. You go, no, you're wrong. All he did was get a gun. I didn't tip my hat towards this. And I'm glad that you got punished by him shooting himself because you liked Macy and all this violent shit just happened, and don't cheer and don't clap because it's not funny. It's the moment to me where it really does become, it fulfills what I've always called the subtitle of the movie, which it's all fun and games until someone gets hurt, you know, which is, okay, now the moment, now we hurt.